Example 1. Kathy, John, and Susie have only 20 chickens left. If they begin with 80 chickens, what percent of the original flock remains? So, notice it says percent, and the following word percent is what? And that's what's going to matter. Okay, when you see percent of, we're going to deal with a part and a whole. Okay, so anytime you see percent of, and it's a lot of times math's about something just as simple as a little word like this. So the word of, following the word percent, means it's a part whole problem. So have 20 left, all right, and then what they began with. All right, so they began with some number of chickens, right? And some number of chickens were left, remaining chickens, right? So if there's 20 left, that means that 60 went away, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of bad that left and went away kind of mean the same thing, but they mean left as that we still have them, okay? So if we just focus on those things, and I want to create a little chart here to organize my information, I want to put a percent column and I want to put an actual number column. All right? Now, when you do percent of part whole, the whole is everything, okay? And whatever follows the word of is what represents the whole. The original flock. Okay, the original flock is what they began with, right? So 100% is the began with number of chickens. We also know they began with 80 chickens. That's the actual number of chickens they began with. Okay, so 100% of the chickens is what they began with, but that's only 80 chickens. All right, so we have a percent number, we have an actual number representing what began. All right, it says they only have 20 chickens left. That's the actual number of chickens they have left. What percent remains? What's left is what remains, right? The other thing they might have said would have been something like this. Katie, John, and Susie had 80 chickens and 60 of them ran away. What percent of the original flock remains? It'd be the same situation, right? They'd still have 20 left, but they're just giving you another piece of information. So you can figure out all these things, but use your brain a little bit, think it through, read it carefully, make sure you understand what's going on. And then once you get these four numbers set up properly in the right places, your percent columns, your actual number columns, specifically how many they began with, specifically how many were left, the percent of what they began with, the percent of what's left, using one variable at most, that creates a proportion for you. 100 over x is equal to 80 over 20.
Which would be 4 over 1.
And that does reduce. If you see a fraction that reduces, by all means you can reduce it. So 80 over 20 becomes 4 over 1. That is legal, and you should, I'd recommend doing it whenever it's easy like that. And then once I get to that point, if I just cross multiply, this product, which is 4x, is equal to that product, which is 100. So if 4x equals 100 divided by 4, we get x equals 25%.